92. Serving the local community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to TV8's Good Morning Vail for this Wednesday, November 7th edition. Now we're seeing those cooler temperatures, we're seeing a little bit of snowfall, and the countdown until Vail and Beaver Creek opens is on. We are 8 days away from Vail Mountain Open, 20 days away from Beaver Creek opening, so ski season is right around the corner. We've got a great show in store for you. Not only are we going to introduce you to a wonderful local dog trainer here, so if you're having some issues with your dog, or maybe you just want to have the best, most well-trained dog, well then we've got the solution for you. We're also going to introduce you to a wonderful local therapist and a great opportunity here for some holiday advertising at TV8. Good Morning Vail starts right now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Let's take a look at that local weather forecast for today. Cooler temperatures first thing this morning, 23 degrees around 8 a.m., a high of 43. 15% chance of snowfall, partly cloudy skies, winds coming out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour, so that slight breeze cooling it down just a little bit more. Now, as we take a look at Vail by the hour, you can see that cloud coverage is going to remain throughout the course of today. That high is going to take place between that 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock hour. Partly cloudy skies as we approach this evening and temperatures dropping back down into the 20s. Now as we take a look at that I-70 corridor, temperatures down in Denver, nice and chilly down there as well, 37 degrees, 60% chance of precipitation in Denver, 43 in Vail with a 15% chance of moisture, 44 in Avon, 45 in Eagle, so temperatures out to the west of us, definitely warmer. Now as we take a look at Vail overnight tonight, temperatures are cooling down, 21 degrees is our overnight low, partly cloudy skies, that sun setting earlier and earlier by the day. 4:58 p.m. is when we're going to see that sun go down. Wind shifting directions just slightly coming out of the east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour, so that slight breeze continuing throughout the course of this evening. Now as we take a look ahead into the next 5 days, 30% chance of precipitation tomorrow with overcast skies, high of 45 degrees, 40 degrees on Saturday with a 50% chance of morning snow. Beautiful sunshine making its way out on Sunday with a high of 49 degrees. Temperatures warming up into the 50s by Monday with 51 degrees and sunshine. But then by Tuesday, that wintry mix is making its way back into our forecast with a high of 41 degrees. So as you're getting out there throughout the course of the next 5 days, just make sure that you're getting your car nice and ready for all of the snow that we've got coming our way. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail.
This is Necklace. This easy-to-use, non-surgical alternative improves the appearance of sagging skin around your neck and jawline. Made from medical-grade tape, Necklace lasts up to 10 hours, giving you a firmer, smoother look all day long. Women everywhere are thrilled with the results.
Necklace is my time machine, and I'm loving life again.
Necklace is way better than surgery. It's cheaper and it's easier.
Use the on-screen QR code or visit sagnomore.com to order now. We even give you a money-back guarantee. Try Necklace today.
Stevie Lee Woods presents Nashville Roadhouse Live, where country meets rock and roll.
Where I drank my first beer, where I found Jesus, where I wrecked my first car, I tore it all to pieces.
Join us every week for more live performances right here on Nashville Roadhouse Live.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
This show looks at anything that has an engine and a story told by the owners. This is a scooter. Have you had it the whole time?
I have not. It's actually the third time I've owned the car.
Sell, regret, sell, regret. To the actual prototype GT40, I got to sit in that car.
Oh, I gotta get me one of these, man.
We've got all the muscle, the speed, and the stories.
I got stage 4 cancer. A bunch of friends came together and decided that this thing needed to get done, man. A lot of friends came together and made this thing happen.
Hey, if it has an engine and a story, you're going to hear about it on rides. Almost every vehicle, doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, there's some tie to your past.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. Are you someone who loves your furry friends? Well, it's really important that you help them have the best life possible, and Super Simple Dog Training does just that. And I've got Luke and Charlie joining me in the studio. Good morning.
Hey guys, how are you?
I'm wonderful. There's nothing better than some puppy love to start your day off. So having Charlie here, giving everyone just that little bit of comfort that dogs always bring really helps first thing.
It's a wonderful thing. It's a great part of what I do for a living, and I'd love to tell you guys more today about, not only my background, but also what makes us a little different when it comes to dog training, behavior modification, things like that, it's an unregulated industry, so there's, folks on both sides of the spectrum. We like to tell folks that we're kind of in the middle. We teach a lot of stuff that is based on how children learn, and so a couple of the tidbits that I'd like to give you guys some information on today that can change your life with some really simple things that, man, we don't know what we don't know. And when you have an expert that can come in and show you some very scientific tidbits, it can change your whole perspective on things.
Well, and especially because dogs are all so different. Certain dog breeds have certain traits that are steadfast. Like, I have a Great Pyrenees. She barks if there's a slight breeze that rolls through from the ceiling fan, and that's her job, and I understand that. And I was reading on your website, you said when you get a dog, you have to give them a job or they create their own, and whether it's destroying your shoes or your couch, they've given themselves that job.
That's right. They are very, just curious creatures. They've got a lot of drive and energy, and that's one of the things that I teach people. It's very fun, especially because it's very logical for a lot of the parents that I work with. Dogs actually have a very similar mental capacity at an adult age that is similar to a 3 to 5 year old human child. So a lot of the techniques that we use for teaching human children apply directly to dogs, and it's almost the same as well when it comes to schoolwork and kids that are, the child finishes the assignment early, now they're cutting up in class and making jokes and causing trouble. The answer is not more discipline and stricter things. The answer is, this kid is too smart. They finished the assignment early. Let's give them more difficult classes, sports, music, student council, all that kind of stuff. That's what we do for dogs. It's a very simple thing that will actually be a time plus within your day, where if you give them a job in this really simple set of tools that we show you guys in our private training sessions, it can change your life because they have an outlet for this naturally curious canid behavior.
Which I think is so important that people acknowledge this as they're bringing a dog into their life, because we are in such a high activity community. We stay quite busy, but then people work a lot. And so if you're going to bring a dog into your home and you're working a ton, it's really important that you have that kind of work-life dog balance.
Well, like you said, Maddie, it's all about awareness. And as humans, we're in our own heads, and oftentimes we don't know what we don't know, as far as this idea that, we're doing our best with kids and work and getting the pets what they need. And sometimes a short walk a couple times a day is not enough. We are doing our best. I get that. The fun part about what I teach is that through a series of set it and forget it from back in the day, those who watch the infomercials of, man, if I can put a little bit of food in a series of puzzle toys, that can be a thing where we say, man, I'm busy, you need stimulation, I'm going to pour the food in, put the top on, set it and forget it. It's very similar to giving a child an iPad on a long car ride. Hey, engage yourself, burn energy, have a little bit of self-fulfilling challenges. Having a challenge that we overcome releases a lot of serotonin and dopamine within our systems. So that challenge and overcoming of the challenge can also be very satisfying within this idea that when they are working on this set it and forget it food puzzle toy, they're burning energy. As they burn energy, solving problems, they fill their belly. And then what's next after that? It's always nap time. So that's a little up and down cycle, as we call it, where if we can do a little bit of exercise, food dispensing puzzle toy, it becomes 2 to 4 hour nap time shortly after, and that's just a benefit for everybody because we can do what we need to do, and the dog has their needs met while also being happy and stimulated.
Which I think is so great. She is so calm.
Oh, this is my little Buddha, yes.
And she's just so docile and happy to be here. She was so excited when she walked in. She was so well at greeting everyone, putting a smile on everyone's face, and then now she's just calm as could be.
Well, it's something that we kind of talked about as we were coming in. This is actually one of the benefits that you can get, not only when you have a mixed breed, but rescues fit into this general category of dogs that have less intensity around the various breed mixes that they have. I grew up with specially trained hunting dogs and things of that nature, and I found that actually for a normal life where we're not doing these things competitively, the rescue mixes tend to be not only healthier, easier to train in a lot of respects because they're not as intense, and just this idea that when you mix the genes, they become relatively docile. And it's a pretty cool thing where, it's not a natural thing for a lot of dogs, but when you mix the genes, they tend to find the middle a lot easier. It's kind of curious.
I have a Chihuahua Jack Russell at home, and he's only 18 months old, and he is absolutely insane, like a wild child. But I give him puzzle feeders when I leave the house.
Wonderful.
So that way my cabinets aren't destroyed.
Well, and Jack Russells are so fascinating, and it just goes into this. We could go into the various breeds as we've talked about, but man, if we look at what they do, that's a big part of what I teach within my dog training is let's really not start with trying to fix the problem.
Right.
Let's look a couple steps back onto what are they as far as a canid? What are their natural instincts? They're all derived from wolves, etc., as well as what their breed is, right? These terriers and the Pyrenees and the hunting dogs have very different sets of behaviors that are pre-programmed into them.
Yes.
If we can look back at what they're bred for and understand the use cases that they were bred for many hundreds of generations to do, that's going to help us get at some of those underlying causes therapeutically as far as giving them an outlet for those natural behaviors.
Yes.
If we understand those background things, then in the moment, not only can we do some of the puzzle toys that we talked about within creating that up and down cycle of exercise, food dispensing, toy, nap time, but we can also cater those things directly to breed-specific outlets that will not only be a more positive outlet because it's more natural for them, but much easier to train as far as different techniques. There's something called barn hunt, if you've ever heard of this within terriers and Jack Russells, where literally they hide a varmint in a cage, and it's a test to see which critter hunting dog can find them the fastest. So that's also part of understanding the breed and the background to where it's a really positive outlet. Both of the needs are met at the same time, right?
Yes.
You're having a bonding experience. The dog has its needs met, so they're not tearing everything up. And it just balances stuff for everybody. Just like we talk about with, if we want to balance our human mind, it's all about physical exercise, being out in nature, healthy diet, healthy mental habits. And we apply a lot of those things in dog training. And it's one of my favorite things that I share at the end of sessions where the moms will often tell me, man, that was really fun. Enjoyed the teaching. We'll see you next week. And by the way, did you know that a lot of the things that you teach for dogs apply directly to my kiddos and how I teach them? And I say, yes, of course, because a lot of the methods, of course, come from that. And it's a very similar habituation, learning mindset where we create good habits that inherently displace the unwanted ones. So.
Now, as someone who's spent a lot of time training dogs, when someone gets a rescue dog, do you think it's important that they do a DNA test to understand what breeds are actually in that dog? Because most of the time when you get a rescue dog, it's a guess.
Sure. I can definitely see that, especially within young puppies. If you're not sure about your lifestyle and your living situation to where the size and the breed could be an issue, I would definitely recommend it there. I will tell you, a little bit of grain of salt, that I have had some clients that worked for some of those companies, and they said they're, not quite as accurate as we would all hope. So I would say definitely fun, but take it with a grain of salt. I can tell you that one of my clients was just beside themselves and needed to know what Charlie's DNA was. They did some research. They actually sent off the DNA request without a picture. So you might do some of those things where you research a bit, pay a little more is probably going to get you some more accurate results. And also, if you don't send in the picture, they kind of have a harder time guessing, hey, if it's a picture, that's pretty easy to do a couple clicks. Whereas they sent hers away totally blind, and it came back half Labrador, half Australian cattle dog. So interesting mix, makes total sense because she likes to herd, and she's obviously got the lab coat. But in the near term, that would be my recommendation is if it's a puppy and you're really curious about how it's going to fit into your lifestyle and how big it's going to be, definitely do the DNA test. But beyond that, it's really more of a entertainment thing, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think so too, but I think that maybe it is good if you're, like you said, getting a puppy now. If people are interested in working with you and having you help their dog become the sweet little angel Buddha baby that's here on the ground with us, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
Sure. You can always reach me directly through my website. There's, of course, cell number and an informational if you would like to fill out a couple questions to start the process a little ahead of schedule as far as information that you give us. That's going to be a really fun way to start the engagement process as far as just having an initial conversation. Whatever way makes sense as far as getting in touch with each other. But really, I always start with a 15-minute phone consultation because sometimes people are just having an issue where they're snagged, and if I can give someone a bit of information over the phone that solves their problems and they don't need a session, hey, great. Totally fine with me because they're going to tell all their friends and all that. But really what it comes down to is a 15-minute phone consultation where I'm going to listen to all the things that are going on, age, breed, background, what are the needs, what's your lifestyle, and then from that, I can give you in the near term some quick answers on how to keep it from getting worse. And if it makes sense, and if you like the vibe that I'm giving you within some corny jokes and some sarcasm that blends well with some very direct science that applies to human children, and that is something where we're going to talk, and if you like some of the things that I'm teaching as far as this is what you're likely going through, does that make sense? Okay, great. Here's the steps that we would move forward as far as the nature and the nurture. We always work on the therapeutic underlying causes as well as the in the moment, how to not do the not so helpful behavior, but it all starts with a phone chat, so feel free to reach out via my website or hit me up directly on the cell, and of course we have the socials on Facebook and Instagram.
Luke, thank you so much for coming in, giving us just this whirlwind of information for people to be able to embrace at home, because there's some great advice in there, but then also thank you for helping people really find their true soulmates within a dog, because I feel like once you make that connection, like you said with the dog, there's no better love in this world.
It's a truly wonderful thing. We so much appreciate the opportunity to come and chat and share some of our love information with you guys. So thanks, Maddie. Thanks, everybody, for watching.
Make sure that you check out Super Simple Dog Training. That way, if you have any of those behavioral issues at home, you can get your dog straightened and squared away to become your absolute best friend. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome to Hiring America, the television program that helps veterans find jobs and transition back into civilian life. Hi everyone, I'm Gigi Stone Woods. I'm truly honored to host this vital program. Reach out to the opportunities you see on this program by logging on to our website, hiringamerica.net, and by following us on social networking sites such as Twitter. We'll keep that information available throughout the broadcast and on our website 24/7. Now, let's get down to business.
coming at you from around the world. The biggest names in sports, entertainment, and business.
Here we go.
Yeah, there's no way.
Exclusive access and one-on-one conversations.
Yeah, you guys really did some deep research.
I don't think we should give him any more information.
In depth with Graham Bensinger.
Good morning, Vail.
Does your business want to advertise with TV8? Well, we've got a holiday advertising special going on right now. So we're going to bring you some more information on how you can get involved with us here at TV8.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Well, it is November 1st. Opening day in Vail is just 2 weeks away. That means the holiday season is upon us. And that's a very exciting time here at TV8 because our viewership goes up by 10 times and there's a lot of great promotions and things. And I've got Danielle Turner, the general manager of TV8, sitting next to me to talk about all the great things happening here at the station.
Good morning, Kevin.
Well, good morning. It's a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure to be here with you always.
So, holiday season.
Yes.
Everybody's gearing up, but TV8's got some special things getting
We've
ready.
got some special things going on. And you know what, Kev? I got to ask you what you think about my new headband.
I'm already in the Christmas spirit,
See,
the holiday spirit.
That's what I was going for.
That's what you got.
I wanted you to be in the Christmas spirit for this conversation. We have got a big holiday promotion coming up here at TV8. We are doing two things, the 12 days before Christmas and ring in the new year.
Wow.
And what that is advertisers get 10 spots per day for the 12 days, either before or after Christmas. So 120 spots total to kind of help drive some traffic into their businesses. And it's $250 either for either of the 12 days. So you can pick the 12 days before or the 12 days after. And if you don't have a commercial spot, TV8 will help you make one for no extra charge. So for $250, you can kind of try to drive some traffic into your business for the winter. It's available both in English and during the Spanish block. And we'll actually be expanding the Spanish block to accommodate those extra advertisers over the Christmas holiday season. And if you can't decide which one you want, do I do before, do I do after? Buy them both for $450.
Do them both for $450.
Yep.
For $250 on the original and for $450, you can't beat that.
You can't beat it.
And with that kind of a deal, is it limited? Are there only a certain number of advertisers you'll be able to bring in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, all good deals have to come to an end, right?
That's right.
So we only have a certain number that we can sell, and so I encourage people to get in touch with us as soon as possible if it's something that they feel like they want to do, kind of lock in their space. And of course, our existing advertisers are going to get that same additional bonus for no extra charge because we want to say thank you to them for supporting us all year long.
Well, so getting around the town this weekend, the buzz is starting to kick in. Everybody is moving back to gear up and get ready for the mountain opening, get ready for all the tourists that are coming our way. So already we've started to see the population and the viewership exponentially go up.
Yes.
But once we hit, get into Thanksgiving and forward, that's when things really start to drive. So when does this whole program start again?
So the one starts the 12 days before Christmas, so it's right around the 11th,
Right.
12th.
Okay.
And that'll run for the 10 days. And then the Ring in the New Year special will start December 26th and go for that 12 days, so it'll end January 6th.
So people have time now to get their spot secured.
Especially if you don't have a spot, I would suggest that you call us right away to kind of get your space reserved so that we
Right.
have some time to help you make something that's going to be really great.
Now, with those 10 spots, is there any in-studio interviews that maybe myself or Maddie or Gretchen or one of the other hosts can?
Absolutely.
Okay.
As part of that package, you'll get to come in and spend some time right here on the couch
We
with you
love
or one of
doing
our
that.
yeah, one of our many hosts. But I bet everybody's going to pick you.
Oh, I'm sure. But, and the price is the same.
That's right.
That's
no
what-
extra charge
no
to spend time with
extra
Kevin.
So we're here. Well, a lot of great things happening. And again, as everything gears up for this holiday season, when we just see all of our friends from around the world come in, a lot of things happening here at TV8, some really good promotions.
Yes, absolutely. And then one other thing I was going to tell you about, Conexión Latina, our Spanish block is now on Spotify. And so if you're out in the car or, doing your thing on the mountain and you want to spend a little time with Julio,
our
you can
friend
find
Julio.
it on Spotify now. So that's exciting.
That is exciting. What a great job that he's done with that programming for the Hispanic community here.
Yes.
And I know it's growing quite a bit, especially
definitely.
from the guests that we've had on, sitting on the couch here and watching his segments, doing an excellent job.
Yeah, it's amazing. Conexión Latina celebrated its first anniversary in August, and he's had almost 300 unique visitors on the show. That obviously that doesn't count people who are repeat visitors. So it's incredible the amount of people that we've reached in such a short amount of time.
Well, that's great. And a lot of our community is made up of a very big base of Hispanics.
Yes.
And so for him to get that Latin community embraced in TV8 and in the community as we continue to grow it is just amazing.
Absolutely.
Good. Well, Danielle, thank you so much for
Of
spending
course.
time with me on the couch today. And I love your holiday headband.
We got to get in the season.
We
Kev.
are in the season. We are in it to win it.
Yes. November 1st, we're ready to go.
All right. So get in there. Some great promotions taking place. But as Danielle said, all good things must come to an end. So get in early, secure your spot, secure your place on the couch next to me so we can talk about your business and everything that you're doing in the community. We're excited to showcase your business here on TV8. We'll be back soon with more Good Morning Vail.
Good morning, Vail.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that.
And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today.
Did you see Caitlin Clark last night? She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning three as time expires. Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
Discover the perfect blend of style and performance in your eyewear at Eyepieces. With convenient locations in Vail Village, Lions Head, Beaver Creek, Edwards, Basalt, and Snowmass, Eyepieces is the destination for luxury eyewear and high-performance optics. From iconic brands to the latest in sport frames and snow goggles, we have the eyewear to match your mountain lifestyle. Plus, we offer prescription lens services, including eye exams, custom lenses, and prescription goggles for your mountain adventures. Visit us today to experience the art of vision. Eyepieces, serving the Vail Valley's vision needs for over 40 years.
Hi, it's Julio Garcia with TV8, and we're about to add some extra jolly to your holiday season. Join us for TV8's 12 Days Before Christmas and ring in the New Year advertising specials. For just $250, you can advertise your business on TV8 during the all-important holiday season. We'll run your commercial spot 10 times per day for 12 days. That's 120 spots to help drive traffic to your business. Choose the 12 days of Christmas or run your ad during the Ring in the New Year special, which starts on December 26th and runs for 12 days. Or better yet, purchase both for just $450. Don't have a commercial? Don't worry, TV8 will help create one from your photos or videos at no extra charge. So don't delay. A deal this good won't last long. Contact the station to reserve your spot, and from all of us at TV8, have a wonderful holiday season.
You know TV8 Vail has great local content, but did you know about our production services? Hire an expert to develop your website reel, commercials, live stream events, studio production, and more. If you can dream it, we can help you do it. TV8 delivers high-quality content in both English and Spanish. Contact us today to discuss your next project. Email Danielle at tv8vail.com or call 970-628-9881.
Good morning, Vail.
If you're looking for a great way to maybe improve your life, well, Revolution Recovery Services is the way to do it. And I'm here with the founder, Dustin Straight. Good morning, Dustin.
Good morning.
We love having you here because you bring a whirlwind of, one, positivity, but realism with it. And sometimes you hit on some heavy subjects, but then you offer support as people are working their way through it.
Yeah. So, founder of Revolution Recovery Services. I noticed a gap in the community. Some people may be aware that there's a pretty high level of substance use and addiction in the Valley. And there was sort of a gap for something called intensive outpatient programming, which when a lot of people think of treatment, they think of like going somewhere for 30 days. This is different than that. IOP, intensive outpatient program, is where a person can live and work and still come in and have resources at their disposal, group therapy, individual therapy, psychiatric services, all under kind of one roof. And it's a really good way to kind of figure out where you are in your sobriety journey. So if somebody doesn't necessarily have the time or the resources to go away for 30 days, cool, you can come into IOP. If things aren't really working out and we're having difficulty stabilizing the addiction, we just refer up to a higher level of care, and then when you come back after 30 days or 45 days or whatever it is, you've got that support system to reintegrate. It's not terribly difficult to stay sober in a facility where you're monitored 24 hours a day.
Right.
It's when you come home, and that's really what the idea of Revolution Recovery Services was.
When we have such a problem here, which is awful to say, but it's true because especially around this time of year, the trifecta of holidays that are coming up and people start to feel alone and kind of secluded from their regular family time and life because we're all so busy this time of year, that it does make it really hard for people to stay on the wagon and stay sober or stay to a place where they're at least functioning. And we see it so frequently, and it's so tragic here in our community because we are so outdoorsy and we have all of these great resources to be in nature, but then it's important that we have these resources where people can feel like they have that support, so maybe they're not chugging a bottle of booze a day by themselves.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that's another one of the areas of focus for an IOP program is we want to educate on the disease of addiction because it's a disease of the brain. It's a manageable disease. It's not a moral bankruptcy issue. It's not a moral failing. It's not weakness. It's none of those things. So then we look at coping skills, like how do I cope on the daily? What can I do there? And how do I do relapse prevention? What are the warning signs? Because there's actually quite a few warning signs when you really educate yourself on the disease and your own personal behavior. You can kind of see a relapse coming. And then we look at, okay, what is your philosophy for your life, for yourself? Because most of us teach ourselves some sort of misinformed philosophy. Like, the only way I can have fun or connect to people is through drinking.
Right.
That's actually not true. When I was in active addiction, I thought that.
Right.
And then I went to treatment, I figured some things out, and I had some people help me along the way. And then I realized, oh my God, like I can do all of these things and I don't actually need drugs and alcohol to enjoy my life. And then I think another thing is, and I mean, we're in the midst of it right now, right? Shoulder season, where a lot of people struggle with connection.
Right.
A lot of people think, sobriety is just not drinking. That's actually not the case. It's the opposite of addiction is connection. So connecting to other people, and that's another benefit to IOP and getting plugged into the sober community. There's a fairly vibrant sober community here in the Valley.
Yes, there is.
It's just we don't walk around with T-shirts on that say I'm sober
or big buttons.
Yeah, we don't do that. We're just living, working, and enjoying our life here. So that's another thing that we really focus on in the intensive outpatient program is creating connection within the group dynamic, but also focusing on confidentiality.
Mhm.
That's a big concern for most clients. Is it's a small town, so confidentiality is paramount, and it allows people to feel safe and do the clinical work that they need to be doing.
Which I think is really important because that feeling safe totally changes the game for so many. Now, you spoke on coping mechanisms that you have that you could watch to see if maybe you do need some help. And so what are some of those coping mechanisms that are not the best to be using this time of year?
So as far as coping skills, right, so it's kind of 4 categories. There's triggers, right, things that activate someone with a substance use disorder to go and use, essentially is the super basic definition. A coping skill is going to be something I deploy in the moment. So I was running late this morning, right? I was chasing my daughter around the house and I was like, oh no, I'm going to be late. This is the worst thing that's ever going to happen.
Right.
So now I'm in something called catastrophizing. So I've just taken something very small, I've made it very huge. One of the things we focus on is keeping things the right size. We do that through the application of dialectical behavioral therapy. So if the opposite of the catastrophe is, it's not a big deal if I'm late at all. We want to find something in the middle. So what we're doing is we're changing the language we're using in our narration about our life. It's kind of funny, I was listening to this lecture the other day and this guy was talking about the word abracadabra, which means as I speak, I create. It's a Hebrew word. I had no idea. And I think that there's a lot of truth there. As I speak to myself, my narration in my head, I create my reality. And so a coping skill is training and practicing on, okay, how do I speak the truth to myself, not my truth, but the truth to myself to change my reality. So the reality this morning was, if I'm late, I'll be disappointed, but it's going to be okay.
Right.
So I'm taking the temperature down. And if I can do that throughout my day, all of a sudden I have sort of a emotional regulation, a baseline that's far better for me, and it's going to reduce the likelihood of relapse. The other kind of 2 categories is we have risk factors and protective factors, right? So there's environmental risk factors. We live in a small town. There's lots of bars, there's lots of restaurants, there's lots of places where you might have used or continue to use. That would be an environmental risk factor. So what can I do to what can I put in place? What protective factors can I use? So like a holiday party, right? That's the season we're into. Risk factor, the party. Protective factor, setting a time limit on what time you're going to leave. The longer you're there, the higher the likelihood of a relapse, right? So some of these things are incredibly basic, but when we kind of start there, we can begin to dig deeper and really look into someone's self-concept and what is the addiction addressing that nothing else is at this point in their life. So a lot of times we hear like, oh, addiction's terrible. Yes, it is. But for the person with the substance use disorder, what's right about the addiction for them?
Right.
Something's working for them, and how do we find that solution somewhere else?
Right. It's a distraction, or it's a numbing aspect, or it makes them feel comfortable. Like you said, it gives them that courage to be social and make connections with people. But the connections you make in that moment aren't necessarily genuine. So
no, I use the word synthetic, and there's actually theory in addiction where addiction is an attachment style. So if someone's been through some tough stuff in their lifetime, some trauma, whatever, they've experienced rejection. One thing that's really kind of, and I don't misinterpret this, one thing that's really nice about drugs and alcohol is they don't judge me, they don't reject me, they don't lie to me, they're not going to physically harm me. I mean, they will over time. So a relationship with drugs and alcohol can sometimes feel safer than relationships with people. Obviously, that's not true in the long run. You might have relationships with bad people that are those are bad. but finding healthy relationships to replace that relationship you have with the substance, that's another reason why we like connection, right? It's authentic connection, it's authentic relationship versus synthetic relationship, which we as human beings, we're aware when something's fake.
100%. Now, there's so many great portals that we could go down with all of this great information, and that's always...
I kind of nerd out, sorry.
But that's why we love having you here, because I think that it gives a perspective that not everyone will come across in their day-to-day life, and not everyone will see. So if people are interested in working with you and spending some time chatting and becoming part of this recovery group, how can they get in contact?
Super easy. I mean, the phone number's on the website. Go to the website, revolutionrs.com. There's a contact page. I usually respond to people within a couple of hours, worst case scenario, 24 hours. Because getting people in when they've kind of found the courage to reach out is really important. So I try to be as rapid as I can with response.
Dustin, thank you so much for coming in, giving us all this great information and nerding out. I love when you do it.
Thanks for having me.
Make sure that if you are starting to struggle this time of year and you know that it's going to continue into the holiday season, you get ahead of it and you find the best resource in our community, which is going to be
Revolution.
Why can't I say it? Revolution Recovery Service. And that way you can work with Dustin, who's an absolutely incredible therapist here in our community. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
Good morning, Vail.
Experience the magic of the season like never before with the Leadville Railroad on our Holiday Express. Gather the family for an enchanting journey filled with dazzling displays of twinkling lights and festive decorations. Create cherished memories that will last a lifetime on this unforgettable train adventure that captures the spirit of the holidays. Booking information at leadvillerailroad.com.
Welcome to Nantucket Rope Bracelets. All of our stylish bracelets are handmade in our Nantucket workshop, using only the best non-shrinking line with soft, flexible finish. Find us at nantucketropebracelets.com and order your beautiful piece from Nantucket today.
I'm Danella Richard. I've made a career traveling the world. I've worked for some of the biggest names in travel, and now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. Swimming with the sharks, swinging at the edge of the world, throwing back a few shots, or shall I say spirits. Eating some of the best cuisine, and even making a few furry friends along the way. I invite you to come along with me and discover the world.
TV8, there's more for you on 92. Serving the local community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Good morning, Vail.
Glazed Pottery is a great new art collective space here in the community, and Gretchen had the opportunity to catch up with the founders. So let's hear more about Glazed Pottery.
Welcome back to the show. I'm very excited to talk to Mandy with the Glazed Pottery Shop. How are you doing, Mandy?
Great. How are you?
I am so excited. You brought the most beautiful things, and this is the perfect timing because we're like entering holiday season, which I love. And I want to know, I'm very excited to ask you all the questions, but first and foremost, how did you get into pottery?
Ooh, well, it's kind of a funny story. I took it in high school.
Okay.
My sister took it too.
Cool.
And she was actually a lot better than me.
Like there's good rivalry there.
Competitive.
Yes, I love that.
So I actually stopped taking it in high school and I started doing jewelry. Then college, I started wheel throwing. And then it was instant click and I never looked back.
We are meant to be friends because I had a potter's wheel in my dorm room freshman year. True story. And it we will just say my clothes were never the same. There was clay everywhere, the computer, the clothes. But that's brilliant. So it was something that you felt like you really liked, and then you kind of revisited.
My dad had a wheel in the basement and a kiln
cool.
growing up.
Okay.
And
So it came very naturally. It was,
well, not at first.
I like that. My
Hand
sister was
building
better.
was a no-no, but wheel throwing is a totally different story.
I love that. I love that. And Mandy, so you have this space. Tell us a little bit about it.
So my idea is to create a space. Well, everything's so expensive here, right? For especially artists. And it took me a long time to move out here to find a space where I could make and create. And
you were saying you came from a place where there was a huge
collab. There's 100 potters that were in this huge
That's
co-op,
cool.
which is amazing. So I've always wanted to create that space for creativity, and it just so happened that there's a space next to me that's going to be able to lease, and I want to be able to create with other artists as well. It doesn't just have to be pottery, but
so cool.
Just come together and be inspired with one another.
And this is in the Eagle area, is that correct?
That's going to be in Gypsum.
In Gypsum,
Mhm.
okay. So
on Railroad Road in Gypsum.
So your space that you have for your pottery right now, where is that?
It's in Gypsum.
In Gypsum as well. That is
So it's going to
exciting.
be the Blue Goat Apothecary is where it's at right now.
Right,
And I'm
okay.
renting the space right next to it.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool. And
Yeah.
so when people see these gorgeous items, we'll speak about this first. This is the Blue Goat Apothecary, and they can come and check out everything that you have to offer.
Yeah.
And what we really are excited about, like I said, is the chip and dip bowl. I have to be honest, I love all of your items, but I'm a big chip and dip girl. I have to tell everyone, when you were coming into studio and you're taking everything out, and everything is stunning and so unique and very different and usable, which I love. But I was like, chip and dip, like that's my jam. You got me. You won me a
Perfect for
chip and dip.
entertaining,
Yes.
you know, especially for the holidays.
Yes,
And what's
yes.
really great about the big ones is, you know, if you buy like a container of dip,
Yes.
it will fit right inside of here if you don't want to clean.
I love that.
And you just take it right out.
Mandy,
Uh-huh.
I love that. And you thought
Thinking.
about this. Yes, smart girl. I love that. Well, and I love that you said the dip is the best part, because let's be real.
Yeah.
It is. It's all about the dip.
Extra dip.
And then tell us about some of your other things that you have available at
A
your
lot
store.
of the other stuff I make kind of, everything I've made for myself, let's be honest. And
Right.
then
That's the way to think about it. Yeah, to create it.
So self-draining stuff to like soap. It makes your soap last a lot longer. I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, I
but-
love that.
So the dots lift up the bar of soap, and then the lift bar tilts it down so it drain into your sink or your
That's-
bathtub, and it makes your
That's beautiful. That's really
Clean
neat.
soap.
It's important.
Yeah.
And I love, explain this, because this is stunning. So gorgeous.
So this is kind of my main thing, I would say, that I
Yes.
make here that not a lot of other potters get to do.
So cool.
I make raku pottery.
Okay.
It's a different type of style of firing.
Oh, yeah. And then we can show it off.
Yeah.
Play
This
Vanna
is
White.
a raku air plant hanger. You can see all the different metallics and iridescence is from the fire bursting.
That's what I was going to ask you. How do you create that look? That is really stunning and very
This is
unique.
a little dangerous firing technique.
Do not do this at home.
Yeah, do not do this at home. But
I love this concept because it's a hanging plant, obviously, but in a different kind of unique artistic vibe.
It's an ancient Japanese style of firing.
That is really neat.
So you put pots in a kiln and you fire them to over 1900 degrees and you pull them out at that temperature.
Wow.
And then put them into buckets full of combustibles,
I
like
just love that.
hay or newspaper, and then all that creates all this different colors. So
And
you
you-
never know what you're going to get.
Which I love that. That's so
Yeah.
stunning. And you said you're one of
Very
the
unique.
only people you know in the valley. that
Yeah,
does this,
just
which
a
is
few
really
people
cool.
do it, but yeah.
And then I know, Mandy, we said, so you have this awesome space right now and people can check it out. You can go get gifts. Do you have a website we'll plug in real quick before we talk about the other space?
Etsy.com.
Okay, perfect.
Glaze Pottery Shop.
Glaze Pottery Shop on Etsy. Love
All
that.
one word.
And then for the space that, well, when are we thinking about opening the next?
It's going to be
the lab space.
February 1st or January 1st, depending on when the other space.
But that's
will
really
open up.
soon.
Yeah, it's very soon.
And I love, Mandy, kind of tell us what you were saying about, because there isn't it's not named, and tell us why, the new space.
Yeah, I don't really want to create, I want this to be a very much collaborative space where people can vibe off of their creative energies and abilities. So I want to, whoever is going to be in that space, I want to create a name together.
I love this.
So everybody gets excited about it and we created this, we made this, and I
love that.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because the whole vibe of your space is that vibe of creating the name. It's the exact same feeling.
Yeah. So I really hope that there's going to be multiple artists in there, and we'll also have like a little gallery space where they can showcase their art.
That's neat. That's a big deal for people that are like,
totally.
I mean, not even just up and coming, but even people that have been in this scene.
Yeah.
That's hard to find. And we all know everywhere right now, it's very expensive to live places, and Vail is beautiful and everyone wants to be here. And so that's a neat opportunity.
Yeah, and have like a gallery opening.
That's
like once a
huge.
month or
How
something.
cool.
And showcase an artist.
I love that. I'm all about this. I wanted to ask you, Mandy, too. So let's say I'm an artist that's really excited about showing. How do we make this work? How do I contact you? What is the next kind of steps to getting into,
So I would say you could either email me at glazepotteryshop@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or you can go through Facebook.
Okay.
Eagle County Classifieds, I'm on there.
Awesome. Okay.
Or Instagram at Glaze Pottery.
Cool.
So I'm on
anything
all the
Glaze
social
Pottery.
Yeah,
you
pretty
can find
much. I don't know how I scored
No,
that.
that's great.
I
love that.
I did.
That's brilliant. It's good. And then what you'll do is just kind of sit down with the artist, see what they're thinking of.
Yeah,
or
I just
work
want to
with
know
them.
their medium
Cool.
and how much space they need and what
Okay.
they're really looking for. Maybe I can match that artist up with somebody else to create this one space and just kind of make it affordable for, depending on their medium.
And then have people, I know it's brand new, so are you starting to talk to people already?
Yeah.
Cool. That is
it's
so
been
exciting.
Incredible response with people.
I love that.
So
cool. Well, I
it's
mean,
great.
as soon as I heard about you, I'm like, we need to have you, because this is such a beautiful thing for our valley, having these kind of spaces.
I don't think there are too many spaces like that.
There's very few, yes. And it's so neat because there's so many creative people here.
So many creative people.
And you're creating another space where people can show and their beauty and what
just
makes them tick.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's
It's
really exciting. Well, I feel like we're going to have you back once it gets up and going. I want to hear the name. I'm very excited about when you create the name. And that's so neat. That's so very exciting. But for now, people can go in and see Glaze Pottery. Yes, and that's so exciting too. And in gypsum. And then also, if you're interested in being one of the artists, you can hit up Mandy and
please do.
talk to her. I think that is so exciting. Thank you so much, Mandy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I know. I want the chip and dip bowl. I was just about to say, I'm like, I'm going to come get it. I know what I'm getting myself.
Makes people hungry.
Right? I'll get myself this for Christmas. What a great... I love it. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely see you again. And keep it right here. We have more of the show to come.
Good morning, Vail.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
I'm Jason Kennedy, and this is The Wager. We've all heard about this pickleball craze. Celebrities are playing pickleball matches all the time, and they're challenging each other to these ridiculous bets. Now I'm bringing the cameras to their house with new celebrities and a new bet every week.
Hell of a rally there.
It's just real, genuine conversation.
I got invited to Usher's birthday party. What am I doing here?
And some pretty crazy antics.
Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz, where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of Black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Yeah, man.
Good morning, Vail.
Let's take one final look at that local weather forecast for today. A high of 43 degrees, 15% chance of snowfall, partly cloudy skies. Winds coming out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour. Now, as we take a look at Vail by the hour, you can see that partly cloudy is going to remain throughout the course of today. That high settling in between that 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock hour. Now, as we take a look at that I-70 corridor, temperatures down in Denver, nice and chilly. 37 degrees, 60% chance of precipitation in Denver. 43 in Vail with a 15% chance of moisture. 44 in Avon, 45 in Eagle. So temperatures out to the west of us, nice and warm. 21 degrees is our overnight low, partly cloudy skies. That sun setting nice and early. 4:58 p.m. is when we're going to see that sun go down. Wind shifting directions coming out of the east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles an hour throughout the course of tonight. Now, as we take a look ahead into the next 5 days, overcast and cloudy skies tomorrow with a 30% chance of precipitation, 50% chance on Saturday with morning snow likely, then beautiful sunshine on Sunday and Monday, and then more increased chances of a wintry mix coming our way on Tuesday. So as you're making your way out there throughout the course of the next 5 days, just make sure that you've got those warm layers with you. We want to thank you all so much for tuning in to this edition of Good Morning Vail. We love getting to be here each and every morning to bring you all of this wonderful community information, whether you're looking for some recovery help or whether you're looking to train your dog. We've got you covered here at TV8's Good Morning Vail, so make sure that you tune in each and every morning. Now the countdown is on. We're only 8 days away from Vail and 20 days away from Beaver Creek, so make sure that you get out there and you enjoy all of the wonderful things that we have to celebrate here in the community.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on